Before the season even kicks off, soccer fans are already making predictions. Who wins the league? Who qualifies for Europe? And who's lifting the trophy at season's end? On Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code CUP26 to get $10 when you trade 10. KALSHI, Kalshi. Trade the beautiful game. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory.
For the moments that matter, choose Curad Naturals. Infused with aloe vera and vitamin E, Curad Naturals bandages protect your unexpected scrapes, cuts, and burns while also moisturizing your skin. Find deeper relief with natural ingredients you can trust to start the healing. When life's surprises call for the best, choose Curad, a deeper level of care. Shop the full collection on Amazon or visit curad.com to learn more.
Thumbtack presents Tile Trouble. Every single time I use my sink, I make eye contact with the uneven grout on my kitchen backsplash. The crooked corners eye me, and I'm haunted by more tiling questions than I thought possible. What kind of pro can fix a backsplash? Can I replace one cracked tile, or should I replace them all? What if I just use Thumbtack? I can hire top-rated pros, read reviews, and compare prices with a tap, all on the app. Thumbtack knows homes. Download the app today.
Hello everyone and welcome to Howie the podcast. We are here after Sunderland against Ipswich in the Premier League. Sunderland lost 2-1. Doesn't feel nice to be gathering after a defeat, does it, lads? Unfortunately, yes, Sunderland have brought that all too familiar feeling back to us that we haven't felt for a little while, and treat us to a lovely defeat on the opening day. And just with a kick in the bollocks right at the end, it was Jack Clarke who got the late winner. So you probably could have written it, but we didn't. We were all very optimistic on the preview. And I've got three glum-looking young men with me today. We'll start with you, Jonny. How you doing, mate?
Oh, yeah, top of the world, Gav. Absolutely feeling spectacular after that.
Brett, how about you, mate?
Yeah, I've had a really good day. I went and watched the Man United lose to Hull for a few beers with my mates beforehand, and came home and watched us do very similar. So, yeah, it's a bit of a kick in the pants, to be honest, this afternoon.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. And James, you don't have Brian Brobby with you today. I'm guessing that's why you look sad.
No, I did prepare something else for today, but then after what happened in the 90th minute, I thought it's probably not the time or place to do that. So I've just got a blur instead. As the background's as blurry as I feel after that Jack Clarke winner, I think.
Yes, it's not a nice feeling having to come and sit down a full time and do this, but, you know, we're here regardless. And it wasn't a great game, if we're honest. I think actually both teams were pretty average. It was a very slow game. I wasn't really expecting it to be that kind of pace. I was expecting it to be a bit more of a game which had a bit more in it, and neither keeper really had too much to do. And unfortunately for us, yeah, we lost the game, and not too many people will be surprised by that. I think a lot of people were back in Ipswich. I think they were even the favourites with the bookies. But it's the way we lost. It was losing by 2 goals that were our fault. We made bad mistakes in the build-up. And I remember watching last night, watching the Coventry Arsenal game, and Coventry were just making one mistake and getting punished for it. And that was basically what happened to us today. We made 2 mistakes, we were punished, and fair play to Ipswich. They turned up on their big day, which you would expect them to do. I just didn't think we were that bad to the point where we should have lost the game. And it was all our own making. And I'll come to you first, Jonny. But it's just a kick in the balls when you do it to yourself, isn't it? Because I can take getting beat. I'll take this on the chin. It's the first game of the season. I'm not going to wet the bed over it. But it was our own doing, wasn't it? And that's the big kicker here.
Aye, 100%. It's a weird position to be in, I always think, when you lose a game like that, like we did today. Because I totally agree with you. I think we were probably the better side. If one team was the better team, because it was quite an even game. And yeah, they're just totally self-inflicted. And
you're right. It sort of hurts more because on the day it was there for us. Even just before Ipswich got the winner, I think there was space there for us to exploit if we wanted to, and we just weren't quite getting the final ball right and stuff. It was just quite frustrating, but you could walk away with a 1-1 draw, and you would take that, like opening day away from home to a promoted side, not turn in your best performance and still come away with a point. I would have taken, but yeah, it's horrible because it is strange that when you play worse, you sort of accept the defeat a little bit more easily because you're like, oh, well, they were the better team and we weren't very good. So you take that. Whereas in theory, there should be more positives to take from today because, we played all right and we had some chances and we scored a really good goal. But yeah, it's just that totally self-inflicted nature of it. And, I'm sure we'll discuss in a bit more detail the actual incidents, but quite uncharacteristic mistakes as well from us. We don't tend to be a lackadaisical or lazy side, whereas I felt like some of the mistakes we were making, including obviously the ones for the goals. I'm not saying the players went out and were actually being lazy, but it just felt like that sort of, just not quite at the races, not quite up to speed and ready for the game, which is disappointing to be able to say, to be honest, because you'd have expected Reggie to have them a little bit more, fired up for it, but hey ho.
Yeah. Yeah. And when we were doing the preview, James, we were talking about what we thought might happen from Ipswich's side of things. And I think I said actually in pre-season, we've been on top in quite a lot of games, and I wouldn't be surprised if we look comfortable doing that. And for the most part, we did look fairly comfortable on the ball. We were moving it around well.
Yeah.
I don't think we created nearly enough, even though I'm looking at the stats now. We apparently had 8 shots, 3 on target. We didn't, there wasn't an awful lot of quality in the final third, but we were punished for being sloppy at the back, as Jonny said. And I think in both, we've seen 09 do it before, and he recovers well normally when he does it. So I'm not expecting this to define him. But Alderete too, we've seen him do this as well. And I couldn't just help but think, these are the first minutes he's had. He didn't have any pre-season. So, like, you can kind of excuse it really to a degree and think, well, it's a bit sloppy from him because he's not kicked the ball. But we put ourselves in that position, and it's of our own making, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought first off we were the better team for certain. I think the only chances they got was when 09 and Hume gave the ball away in dangerous positions. To be honest, in the second half, I thought Ipswich were the much better side. I thought we didn't really get going in the second half at all. We only had 3 shots on goal in the entirety of the second half. XG is pointless, but 0.17 speaks volumes. We just had a lot of the ball and didn't really do anything with it in the second half, to be honest. I thought Ipswich played exactly like how I'd expect them to play. They pressed us high, came at us very fast, very, very quick. And Ciso in particular was causing lots of problems with his harassing of our defence. And I think the defender struggled with that. I thought Ballard and 09 struggled in the first half. I think you're right. Alderete looked like a man who's played no minutes at all this season. He was missed time and jumps. I think there was one late on where he was up and down before the ball even got to him. That's natural lack of match fitness. That's going to take him probably up until the back end of September to get totally up to speed with. 5-6 weeks. That's just pretty much the way that he's going to have to catch up now. There's a question mark of whether Alderete should have been introduced in the first place, in my opinion. We know he's rusty. We know he's not played any minutes. And granted, yes, he is a perfect person for the left centre-back position. Nodi Mukwele has been injured for 2 weeks, but he's got a much more of a pre-season than Alderete does. He wouldn't be as rusty. Was it not perhaps a better chance to bring on Meunier, Mukwele instead of Alderete, and perhaps move Ballard across? Maybe even put Nodi straight in on the left-hand side, perhaps. Because to be honest, I thought Ballard struggled all day. We'll probably get onto the goal, but I think he's got his own part to play in that. I think he got yellow carded for repetitive fouling, pulling a player back. Later on in the second, I thought Emerson had the beating of him for the most time aerially. And then later on in the second half, he was jumping like he had lead boots on a little bit, to be honest. I think both centre-backs struggled, and it's a shame because in the first half, I thought our midfield was excellent. I thought we created a lot of chances, but probably should have scored more. Great goal. And then in the second half, I don't really know what happened. We just didn't really get to the races until we kind of, Ipswich came at us as they were going to anyway. we recovered, had the chance with Robbie, had another chance. And then after the subs, it was very drab and very dull, to be honest. I think Ipswich probably deserved the win. All three teams, newly promoted teams, won last year, the first game at home. 2 out of 3 have done it thus far this year. But it is what it is. It's just an absolute sickener that Clarke scored the way he did.
Yeah. I think James touches on something important there, Brett, that it's been said, we've said it. It is probably the worst time to play the newly promoted sides. Man, you have found that out earlier today, as you were talking about before. We found it out with this game against Ipswich. Like in 5-6 weeks' time, these teams won't have the same enthusiasm for every single game, you would imagine, and it's probably a better time to play them. So we knew it was going to be tough, but still, I kind of get away from the fact that this was our causing, and it wasn't because the newly promoted. It wasn't because they were so much better. I'm not sure I necessarily agree with James. I think it was a pretty crap second half. I don't think anybody deserved to win it, if I'm honest. I think that it was a draw would have been a fair result had that not happened right at the end. But fair play to them. They took their chances. But it was, I don't know what I was expecting from us, but I was hoping we would be a bit more penetrative in the second half. We made quite a lot of subs to try and do that. So you can't blame Reggie, I don't think, for not trying, because he tried to give us a bit of this. I thought Enzo Lefebvre was struggling in the second half, but he had a decent first half. Thought he struggled in the second, and it was the right call to bring him off. Trey Hume, again, good first half, created 2 good chances, slowed down a bit. Was a right call to bring him off. Robbie was tiring, and you could tell. O'Nien had picked up the yellow card. So I understand the logic behind replacing him, even if it didn't work out. But still, there was just something missing about the second half as the game grew on. I don't know whether Ipswich just grew in confidence because they were still in the game and they still had a chance, because we were in that position before last season and it worked for us.
It was a strange one because we were looking. My dad came over and watched it, and we were sort of chatting throughout the second half. And looking at our bench, it looked really strong today. The subs that came on were all really good subs. As you said, like Isidore, Urgh, Diarra have all come on, Talby's come on, and I don't think any of them changed anything positively today. And it got to around like the 85th minute, and like my dad even said to me, he goes, "Oh, well, listen, we're both playing out for a draw." And I actually said, "Unless one of us makes a mistake." And lo and behold, unfortunately, we made that mistake and they nicked in. And of all people, bloody Jack Clarke, I said, every single one of us would have seen that when he got that ball and he takes it onto his right hand side. I thought he's going to bloody score here, and lo and behold, he does. So yeah,
sorry to cut across you, right? Because we've brought it up now. Why is Ballard letting him get onto his right foot? You played with him for fucking 2 years. Like,
Ballard should know exactly what his game plan is there. I'm going to put it onto my right hand side. I'm going to curl it around you. Of all people, if that was anyone else, if that was Nordy, you go, who the fuck is Jack Clarke? Like you say, Ballard. He's sat next to him, as you say, for like 2 years. He knows what he's going to do. We've all seen it, and I say at that moment in time, I thought, that's it. It's game over. Ballard's going to kill it. So Jack Clarke's going to cut it in that corner, and he did that. So it was really, really frustration. But I don't get it, because I say our bench for me was strong. It was a strong bench, but no one that came on, like Talby got the ball in like, I think it's like the 89th minute. I was like, I forgot he was on. Like, he did nothing at all that second half to really impress. And it's a bit that old saying of like, I know we have finishers and starters, but if you're one of these finishers, I want to be a starter. I don't want to come on the bench. I need to make a claim and show what I can do. And I don't think any of them players deserve to be starting next week against Fulham. If you came on today, you've done nothing for your cause to start against Fulham next week.
It's a fair point. I think you've got to try and impress when you get the opportunities, Jonny. And the lads who came on didn't, unfortunately. But it was a weird situation. Like I say, I'm trying to think through now, like what actually kind of went wrong, and it was literally just a mistake. It was just a mistake. And that's what's irritating, because I don't think we weren't. If you assess the 90 minutes, we weren't bad. We weren't bad at all. The performance was pretty good. It wasn't I wouldn't say it was an 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10 performance. It was probably a 6.5, a 7 out of 10 performance, which away from home, if you can get a point, I always say this, point away from home is a good result. There were other lads in our group chat who said that we should be winning this game, and I was like, nah. Any game in the Premier League away from home, if you can come away with a point, that's not a bad result. And I would have been over the moon with a point today. It was nabbed away from us right at the end. And as we've said, bloody Jack Clarke, like it had to be him, didn't it? It just had to be him. And when he came on, I didn't fancy him to do anything. It was just, I mean, usually seen. I was taking the piss out of everyone in our chat saying,
I was just going to
"Right,
say,
Jack Clarke."
I was the one who put in like, oh, well, he's nailed on to score the winner now. And your response was, I think, unprintable, but, resembled, please go away, Jack Clarke, something like that. But yeah, it was, it's annoying though, isn't it? Because it just like, as you say, obviously it was so irritating today because it was self-inflicted and the mistakes and everything like that. But again, like just Clarke comes on, every single one of us is thinking like, oh, if anyone's going to score the win, it's probably going to be him. It felt to me, and I understand that, we'd been a little bit pulled out of position and, the back fours are not expecting Alderete to just give the ball away and let them have the ball. But it's not like Alderete gives the ball away to Clarke on the edge of the box. They've still got a little bit to do before that opportunity has actually worked and he gets a chance to have a shot. And to me, it kind of felt emblematic of the whole game where we were just weak in challenges, not necessarily like not committed, but just, I don't know, both defensively when we were trying to, how many times did Enciso skin people and have them sent to the ground? Yeah. I mean, like Jacques just sort of flicking a little leg at it, and I think Ronaldo got beat a couple of times among plenty
Ballard.
of them. Yeah, I mean, they were all at it, weren't they? And then going the other way when we had the ball, and I think Talby was particularly guilty of this. So many times he'd be on the run, he'd square up to somebody, and he would just sort of in a powder puff move, just like knock the ball a couple of yards and then just run straight into the defender. And I'm saying run, even then he was basically half walking. And again, that's not to dig him out specifically. Angulo was struggling quite a lot when he was squaring his man up in the first half. And
I honestly think, Johnny, that's maybe why we signed Matali, because they need someone bombing past them. That was what we were missing today. Mm-hmm. I'm not picking on Ronaldo here because, I think he actually played pretty well last week against Rennes in the preseason game, and he did this quite well. But I think that's why we've signed somebody who's a bit more dynamic, because those two wingers we've got, they like to square people up, and they're quite good cutting in on the right foot to come inside and either play a pass or have a shot or get across into the back post. But they're not good at going down the left hand side. They're not good at changing on the left foot and getting past people. And I think that's why we need Serkin was probably the best left back we had in the last couple of years at doing this, just getting beyond and providing a bit of width and stuff. And we didn't really have that today.
And it's no coincidence as well that some of our better moments going forward came when that actually did happen. There was a couple of times in the first half where Siddiqui was getting beyond on the left hand side, or whoever it might be, and those were the few times Angulo did manage to start getting a bit of traction, because then he had someone where he could slip the ball on the outside, and some of the deliveries were a little bit poor, but we were managing to start flashing balls across. And it comes from exactly like what you just said, being able to get people around on the overlap. And there was one moment in the second half, I can't remember the exact move, but it was when, I want to say, I think it was Trey Hume, knocked one through somebody's legs, and we had a lad overlapping on the left. I mean, it was a little bit more inside. It wasn't exactly on the touchline, but just again, it's another example that get width, get people running in behind, and we can cause problems. But yeah, I totally agree. Talby, Angulo, they were both guilty of it. And on the right-hand side, it was Meunier who was providing most of our attacking outlet, which I think says a lot to the, mid-30s fullbacks coming in on a free transfer, and he's basically our best creative outlet.
Yeah, and Brett, just to come to you, I wonder as well about the thinking behind giving Meunier 90 minutes going into the game, because he was brilliant, but he'd only had a half of football. And we'll start with some positives before we actually get into the meat of the goals. I thought he was probably man of the match, but it was a bold call from Reggie, wasn't it? And I think it kind of shows that we don't see everything. As fans, we don't see the day-to-day. We don't really have a full picture of what's going on, because I don't think any of us thought he was going to start this game. Yet he did, and he looked like he'd had a full preseason. He looked sharp. The commentator I was listening to, I think it was Darren Ambrose on my commentary, and he was praising him all the way through, saying how well he played, and he'd really picked him out as Sunderland's main man. And I was agreeing with pretty much everything he was saying. Thought Tom and Meunier played really, really well. So if let's have one slight positive, I think it would be him on his debut.
I thought he was brilliant. To be fair, it's the first time I've actually had a proper look and see what he's like. And for me, he was man of the match for me. Definitely. He's. I can only imagine that when you're saying about was he going to play 90 minutes, that I know when they're training that they literally, it's all about data now, isn't it? They've all got the bibs on, the armbands on, so Reggie will know what he could have got out of him this game. And I know sometimes, obviously, like even just like visually, you'd look and think, do you know what? He's got another 20 minutes in him. I'm not taking him off. So it may even been down to that. But 80th minute, he's still trying to get forward. He's still playing some great passes. He had that little cheeky shot like out on the wing at one point. I wouldn't have took him off either. So even if my plan was to take him off after 70 minutes, I thought I'd look at him and think he's actually playing well enough. Let's give him the full game. It's a bit weird. It's a bit like with Alderete coming on, and he's got to get some minutes at some point, even if he's not fully fit. 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. That's why he's been chucked on. So I imagine it's similar for him. If we can get 70 minutes out of him, great. If he's looking fresh, let's give him the 90. So for me, I wouldn't have took him off anyway. He was by far and away our best player today. I was really, really impressed with him, and looking forward to what he's going to do the rest of the season.
Yep, right. We'll come back after the break and talk about the goals in a bit more detail. So we'll see after these ads.
Before the season even kicks off, soccer fans are already making predictions. Who wins the league? Who qualifies for Europe? And who's lifting the trophy at season's end? On Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code CUP26 to get $10 when you trade 10. KALSHI, Kalshi. Trade the beautiful game. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory.
This episode is brought to you by Starbucks.
That is fire. Whoa, that's good.
This might be the drink of the summer.
Okay, I like this one too. I'm rocking with it. Okay.
Try it for yourself. Starbucks Refreshers Concentrates are coming home. Find them in the coffee aisle and make it yours.
And welcome back to How We the Podcast. And for those watching on YouTube, that is normally where we have an ad break. I've seen there's not really a break. We don't go off for a piss or make a drink or anything. We just sit here for a second and then pretend we went away. But for those listening to the pod feed, hope you enjoyed those 4 adverts. Ching, ching.
I look behind the mirror.
Right, the first goal, James, we'll come to you, mate. Luke O'Nien was the one at fault, unfortunately. Although he wasn't the only one who kind of didn't particularly cover themselves in glory, but it was Luke O'Nien's slack passing that led to them breaking against us. He tries to play a pass, not convincing enough. He's also really high up on I think he's actually inside their half when he plays the pass. Yeah. So immediately we're backtracking with one of their best ball carriers, if not the best ball carrier, running at us. And it causes all kinds of problems as they're coming back towards us. And you're just thinking, right, someone's got to make a tackle here. Ballard tries to close the space down, but doesn't fully commit. And I'm thinking, just take him out. Like, take the yellow card, take the free kick, we'll move on. He doesn't. And then very quickly the ball's in the back of the net. And it's Emerson, the striker they just paid, 29 million, I think, from Toulouse, who looked okay. But, it was on a plate for him. If he'd missed that, I'd be asking for my money back. And it was a gift, wasn't it? And it was poor from us. And it was just one of them goals where you don't want to start the season like that. Like, if that happens 3-4 games in, all right, fair enough. That's the first goal you concede this season. Just minging, innit?
Yeah, I sympathise with Luke because this was his big chance, really. Alderete injured, looking for a left centre-back, haven't got one in yet. Neither Nordy nor Ballard are not quite natural on that side, and Reggie loves his balance. So this was really his moment to stake a claim, even though he's right-footed. We know how good he is with his left. We know how good he is as a left central defender. He likes to play line-breaking passes. He likes to be risky in his passing because it creates opportunities. That's what he tried to do today. But there's so many easy options either side of him that he could have just recycled play out wide when he's himself is 35, 40 yards from Ipswich's goal. He's only got one man behind him. They're pressing like hell. They're pushing on us. The entire first 20 minutes of the game would got through that with, to be honest, up until that goal, it was an excellent away performance, like up until that one moment. And then he tries to break a line and he practically passes it 5 yards. And it's just, to be honest, it's an awful mistake. And it's exactly like what he did at Newcastle away. In that sort of situation, yes, playing Ipswich away is a very different prospect to playing Newcastle away, especially from a Sunderland perspective. But this is the moment that they're going to be right up for it. And the team was, the fans were, just like we were a year ago. We know exactly how it feels to be in that situation after so long away, or after being relegated, or after having a bad season, and so on.
And James
just don't make that mistake.
Oh, he's back.
And then
He's back.
Ballard's, I agree. Well, he's got 3 options really. Ballard's can either make the tackle.
Oh, he's back. Hello, James.
Sorry.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, I think your internet was playing funny buggers there, mate. Go back 30 seconds, just rewind, and then you can start again, mate.
Oh.
And we won't be editing this out because it's funny.
James has got the hot hole all of a sudden.
I'll be on my roof in a second. I'll check after. So basically, just bad mistake from Luke. Ballard's got 3 options for me. Making the tackle is actually the last option. You can either stand the player up and usher him out wide because you've got players covering, you've got players coming back, or you just take him out and take the yellow card because we've got men back. I mean, at that point, he wasn't on a yellow, I don't believe. I think he got his yellow not long after that for dragging Enciso down. Enzo's covering. Enzo's got Emerson with him. Now, yes, obviously Enzo's not a defender, but I would trust Enzo in that situation. He's proven time and time again his ability. He could be trusted to cover the man. Because Ballard jumps in, Enzo then has no choice but to go to the ball carrier, and then Emerson's completely free. So for me, it's Ballard's made a mistake, but it all emanates from 09, unfortunately. And there's going to be a massive outcry for him to come out of the team. But as we'll probably get on to for the second one, that wasn't great either.
Yes. Sunderland's goal, Jonny. Let's move on to that, I think. In happier times, I was happy when that hit the back of the net because it was interesting because you saw who was stood over it. And I think Enzo was stood over it. I think at a point, Granit Xhaka was stood over it.
Yep.
Yeah, it was Nelson Angulo, who they were quite happy to take the free kick. And that surprises. But I was thinking, oh, go on then. And he couldn't have hit it any better. It goes in off the underside of the bar. They've got like the Jolly Green Giant in goal and he can't get near it. And it's a fantastic hit. And what a way to get yourself back in the game. Perfect timing as well. I think it was like the 40th minute, 39th minute when we scored. So it was just before half time. And I've been waiting for Angulo to do something like this actually. And obviously he's going to get time and patience to make a bit of an impact in the Sunderland shirt. So we're not expecting absolute miracles from him. But when I watched him against Germany in the World Cup, that was the first glimpse of, he's actually quite special, him. And when he can get a bit of consistency, I think we've got a top player on our hands. And I think that's kind of what we saw with this goal. He didn't have actually, it was a great performance from him. Worked hard, struggled to get past his man more often than not. But he had that moment of quality in him where he hit the back of the net with a fantastic goal. And just take it away, mate, because I think it's going to be, if that's the start of the scoring, we might have quite a good goal of the season competition at the end of it, again, like we did last year.
Well, it's not quite as good as Dom Ballard's goal, the one that outside of the foot flick from earlier today. But it was class, wasn't it? What a strike! I might be asking 1 or 2 questions of the Jolly Green Giant if I was an Ipswich fan, because as great a strike as it was, and it went in off the underside of the bar, it wasn't tucked right in the corner, but that shouldn't take away from Angulo, because it was a brilliant free kick. It feels like it's been ages. I was just sort of trying to mentally fact check myself there, but feels like it's been quite a long time since we scored a direct free kick. I certainly kind of think of one off the top of my head.
Oh, who Trey Hume, West Brom? Was that the last time?
Yeah,
that feels right. Yeah, which
that
is
that deflection. It didn't go right the way through. I think it hit somebody on the way in, didn't it?
And that was a slightly weird one as well.
I'm amazed Jonny hasn't said Seb Larsson yet.
Do you know, Brett? It felt like
if you had any rustling from my end, then I just wrote down Seb Larsson. I was going to do like the cute thing. You just hold it up. But any minute he'll mention Seb Larsson.
Well, the fact that they then repurposed the Julio chant for Angulo as well, I was like, somebody's taking the piss out of me here. He channeled his inner Seb, didn't he? That's all I can say. But yeah, no, like cracking finish. really, really happy for him. Absolutely chuffed for him. Because like you say, Gav, he's needed a moment like this, I think, in a Sunderland shirt. Obviously, he had that great goal against Germany in the World Cup. But yeah, this is where his Sunderland career kind of really starts, I think. You know, obviously, he was at the club last season, but he had niggling injuries and only joined halfway and all the rest of it. But, you know, now we've seen properly with our own eyes what he can do in a Sunderland shirt. Fingers crossed it's the start of, the start of a really productive season for him. But, yeah, I was shocked as well when Enzo and Granit walked away and let him have it. And I definitely wasn't loudly exclaiming that Angulo shouldn't be anywhere near this free kick before he took it. So I didn't do anything like that. I always had faith in him.
Yeah, and on that chant, I just have to make mention of the fact the commentator's got the Spandau Ballet song wrong, which was winding us up. The I don't know who the lead commentator was, but he said it was True by Spandau Ballet. And I'm sat there going, no, it's not. What are you on about? You don't know your Spandau Ballet as well as me. And then about 30 seconds later, Darren Ambrose then starts talking about, yeah, I didn't think I'd be talking about True by Spandau Ballet today. And I'm like, are you thick? It's not true. Anyways, that's by the by. Brett, just get your thoughts on the goal, mate, and the build up to it too, because it was actually in the previews and sort of the lead up to this game. We've made mention of the fact that Ipswich have signed a couple of experienced players. They've signed Diop and Lukic from Fulham, and it was actually one of the experienced players, Diop, who makes the silly foul, I think, to give us the free kick. But regardless, in that situation, I've got to be honest, I was a bit like Jonny. I wasn't annoyed or anything that it was Angulo. I've just lost all confidence when we get a free kick around the box. I can't remember the last time we got one on target, never mind scored one like that. So what we take us through your thoughts when that...
We were exactly the same beforehand. So obviously the build-up to the actual free kick happening, Sadiqi's done a few good runs before that. And obviously he's been clipped for the foul. And because I thought up to that point he was having a really, really good game up to there. Mm-hmm. And then as I see, and like everyone else saw this, so you've got Lafay and Xhaka as the usual, left foot, right foot, ready to do it. And then what is Angulo doing? What's he doing there? Has he not been given a role in this free kick sort of? There's obviously something on the training ground. Where am I meant to be? Oh no, you're taking it, mate. And all of a sudden he just literally pops it in. So brilliant. It's great start of the season. And I think with him, and I've said it a couple of times before, where we've had likes of these players signing in January to then start the season up and running. He is like a new signing this season. I know everyone's kicking off saying we've not signed anybody. Angulo is a new signing for us. Yeah, that is one of them. Yeah, we've not paid any money from him in this transfer window, but he's new.
Mundle did it as well, didn't he, in the Championship?
That's what I mean.
Mundle came in January and then the season after he takes us up.
He literally was flying for that first start of the season. Jack Clarke left. Mundle took it on and then he got injured.
You have to talk about him again, by the way.
I know. It's really annoying that got linked round then. Cheers, Jonny.
Sorry, lads.
Living down that little path. But that's what it's like. It's like, Angulo's come in. For me, he's literally a new signing this season. He might as well have signed him from the World Cup. What an amazing player. He scored against Germany in the World Cup. Yeah, everyone would be over the moon with that. Oh no, we signed him in January. That means he must be crap. So he's come in, scored a goal on his debut for me. Rabbit ears for you podcasters. Off we go. So great goal for me. Really, really pleased for him. But I was amazed at everybody else when he literally lined up to take that free kick.
Well, I like edgy Brett, me, and he's had a couple of bottles and he's ready to kick someone's head in.
I've seen that in the Rabbit a few times, to be fair.
It's not the Rabbit now, yeah.
James, I know we've already kind of touched on the last goal a few times, but take us through this from a sort of, I don't know, what went wrong perspective.
Why do they get our goal and I get the shit ones?
Because you joined the call late, mate.
Yeah, fair. You're our version of who's the tactics expert on Sky? I don't know. Thomas Sheth, it could be him.
What? Is he the transfer guy?
Brian Swanson? Jim White? It could be one of them.
Bloody hell, what century is it? Brian Swanson's a FIFA now, Gav.
Phil Thompson. Anyways, take us through
it. It's just, again, it's the same from Alderete. It's an easy pass out. There's many options there. And it's to be honest, it's just a bad pass. It's not even like he makes the wrong choice. He's trying to obviously get it to Xhaka sitting in front of, I don't know who intercepts the ball for Ipswich. Just stopped caring. So he's trying to get it to Xhaka. It's a bad pass, misses it, and then gets over to Clarke. And then I think every single person in the entirety of Sunderland and or the world who have got anything to do with Sunderland was like, yeah, shit, he's going to go take this on his right foot and probably score, isn't he? Because it's the 90th minute and it's against Sunderland. And that's exactly what happened. But I agree. I don't know why. Easier said than done knowing what someone's going to do and being able to stop them. But it was just so obvious that he's going to open his body up, get it on his right foot and just like stroke it into the far corner. So it was just all the way through the first half. Like I genuinely think the first half we were really good. I thought Siddiqui looked a level above. He was brilliant. He was one of the best players on the pitch in the first half. And then we created good chances. Robbie had a couple of chances. Hume had a good chance. The Angulo chance, good crosses from the left-hand side that were just kind of not quite there. But we were creating them. We were splitting them open. We went over the top, went around them, got through them. We were penetrating them a lot in the first half, to be honest. But we shot ourselves in the foot again. Their best chance in the first half was the goal, gave it away. 10 minutes after that, Hume gave it away to a similar sort of area on the other side of the pitch. They counter-attack and Ciso puts it over the bar. Again and again in the second half, I think there's 2 or 3 times where we would just give the ball away in a dangerous position. Now, I don't want to jump on it too much because I think we all need to remember exactly what happened in our first away game of last season and what happened beyond that. But we can learn from this. Reggie will look at this and he'll probably he'll be gutted, be devastated, but he'll be rubbing his hands because he can find a way to make us more connected. So
love that word. Reggie's favourite word, connected. We'll shoehorn that in where we can. Right, man of the match. I'll go around the table. Jonny, what do you reckon?
Yeah, Meunier.
Meunier? Because we've had a few shouts there for Siddiqui in the first half, but he did get quiet, didn't he? Brett?
Yeah, as I say, my notes were I had Siddiqui down for the first half, but he quietened. But Meunier was just head and shoulders above everyone else today. I've had a really, really good debut. So,
yeah, James.
Look, 09. Sorry.
Okay. I was going to say that 4 yeses for Meunier, but apparently not.
It's Meunier, yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
Siddiqui was brilliant in the first half, but again, he worked really hard in the second. I thought more than anybody, done a hell of a lot to break them down, was doing a lot of work on Ciso specifically. He kind of went a little bit man-to-man on him in the second half, I think, which I can kind of understand because he was so influential in the first. But that then stopped him getting forward in the second. In the second half on the left-hand side, which we were attacking down all of the time, we didn't then have Siddiqui to carry on around Angulo to create that triangle. Because I don't know if he was told to do a job on him or if he was kind of just being forced to because of Ciso having such a good game. But yeah, Meunier was really good.
Yeah, and I'll round that off and say Meunier too. Yes, for me, man the match, best player on the pitch. I think Siddiqui got man the match on the site. I haven't got it open in front of us, but could have been either or, actually. There's a couple of other players who probably deserve a little bit of a mention. I thought, not necessarily for man the match, but I just thought they played all right in the game. I thought Enzo in the first half was really good. I don't know whether I would
Slim
say
pickings, isn't it?
I was about to say Angulo, but his all-round performance wasn't particularly great. But yeah, that's it, really. It was slim pickings, and that probably says it all, really. I think by rights, that was a game we should have drawn, really, if we're being honest. Yeah. But we didn't, and that's why we're all a little bit disappointed. I'm sure there'll be people listening to this absolutely seething, people thinking that the season's over already, people who want, this player and that player's head on a spit, like kicking off because we need to sign more players. The positives to take from this, and I thought you nailed it there, James, were that at least it's happened now. And like when you play football or you play any sport and you make a mistake in like the build up to it or whatever, you're having a warm up, whatever, get your mistakes out now. You get your mistakes out early because you need to get them out your system. We had that moment today, hopefully, and by next week we'll be better for it. We'll have learned. I think it'll help shape up the team going into next week. I think, if there was any doubt over who was playing at the back, you might have a better idea by next week. For instance, we've got Nordy back fit, hopefully, fully fit. Diane Metali probably playing some part, if probably off the bench, but at least he'll be available. Who knows who else we'll have through the door by then? So, like, there are things we can take from it into the next game, but we'll stew on that as the week goes on.
If this result happens in December, it's a terrible, terrible result. It's happened in the first game of the season. It's not the end of the world. This will not make or break our season.
Correct. And I hope people come to us for our ability to find perspective in even depressing situations like losing away to Ipswich. But there we go. Tomorrow we have, I think, James Copley from the Sunderland Echo join us for the Sunday supplement, and that'll be a different crew of lads. And all those fandrews out there, I think we'll get to see our Andrew Smithson on the play. He's went down well since we went on YouTube, and he
I knew he'd get a mention
in the post and
Yeah,
everything.
where is Andrew? Why is he not on today?
Yeah, we kind of get away from him, man. Not even here, and he's getting shout outs.
Well, everyone wanting to hear more of Andrew and see more of Andrew will get their wish over the coming days, I'm sure. And we'll be going absolutely nowhere on this podcast. There's plenty to talk about this week, so hopefully we'll have some signings to talk about. That'll be nice. James, me and you on Monday, that pod will be, but me and you and our friend, who I've totally forgot the name of, Elijah Michels. That's great, isn't it? Our friend whose name I don't know. Yeah, it's late. It's only 5 to 6, but it's been a long day for me. Elijah Michels, our Belgian video scout who's been on the pod a few times, is going to join us to tell us all about Jules Ahoka. I think I've said that right. Hope I've said that right. The player from what team? Royal Antwerp. And who was signing? Hey, I tell you what, I'm good, aren't I? Royal Antwerp, him, yes.
Gav, which was drinking at 12 o'clock, mate?
I wish I could. I've got a pint glass here, but it's only had water in it, so I can't even blame it on that.
Oh, the red air's not the only one rusty from pre-season.
Hey, I know. Hey, look, I'll try my best, right? James has done all the research for that pod, so I'm just going to sit there like a plum, pretending it's my research and hopefully sounding insightful. But yes, Monday we will know a little bit more about this lad coming in, or hopefully coming in, if he can pass a medical. So yes, we will be back over the coming days. Thank you very much, gentlemen. It's been lovely as always to sit with you all. We've had a bit of a laugh, even though it's been a bit of a shitter of an afternoon. So hopefully we've given people a laugh. If you are watching us in live and live in colour, I can't even get my words out now. If you are watching us live and in live in colour for the first time on YouTube, this is our ugly faces. Feel free to tell us what you think of us in the comments, because people seem to do that over the last pod. And yes, we'll be back in the morning. So I'm trying to get rid of myself here. I'm trying to sign off. Goodbye. See you all later. See you later, chaps. Adios.
Evening. Buyer's remorse. Buy a new car? I'll be moving in. Let's get started.
Sorry, I think there's been a mistake. I bought it from Carvana.
You what?
Yeah, great price. I even have 7 days to love it or return it.
So there's no...
No buyer's remorse. More like buyer's rejoice.
I guess I'll let myself out. Congratulations. I mean it.
Buyer's rejoice. Buy your car today on Carvana.
Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.